Okay, I'm gonna do a face and hair on this guy or girl. I think I'm actually gonna make it a girl. And I realized somebody had requested some sequins on their sweater. I found this. I thought that was kind of cool. Let me do a version of that for you guys. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna approach this, but let me just give it a shot. So let's say I'm gonna simplify. I'm just gonna do a big letter R. Let's just do a big letter R. Let me outline it first. This is where I probably should have done this on my earlier drawing rather than freehanding it on my final illustration because I didn't do a very good job. Let me see if I can get the pencil off of there. Oh no, and then that's dirty. Oh, you guys, is it just one of those days for me? I think it's just one of those days. Okay. All right. So let's make that look sequined. What I'm going to do is take my marker color, make sure it's the right one. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Get that marker color, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to darken it up. And I need it to be really dark. If I can't get dark enough with the second coat of this marker, I will either get a darker marker or I will use colored pencil. So let me see if I can do a little sequin recipe down here. Second coat, but I don't think I'm getting what I need, so let me hunt for a sort of a complementary. That's actually not bad. It really matches that colored pencil color that I had. Oh, this is good. Okay, so this is some sort of like a geranium red. And I'm gonna come in here. If you guys notice, when we look at sequins, there's some dark spots and there's some really light spots, and they're sort of sprinkled throughout, but in this case, the dark is a little bit lower. So I'm gonna put dark. I'm gonna dot it through. I don't want it to be too perfect. And I'm going to dot the dark all the way up to the top because once it dries, I'll put some white gel pen over it. The white will really pop, but only if it's on a dark background. So even though I don't want as much dark towards the top right now, I'm going to put it. And then I'm just going to wait a second till it dries, and then I'll come in and put some light on top of that. Okay. Oh, it's cute. I like it. Okay, let it dry. Let it dry. If you don't let it dry, your white gel pen is going to turn pink, which is maybe not the end of the world, right? Like maybe if I get a couple pinkish looking dots here, that's fine. And I'm going to put a few light ones down below too, even though I want the bulk of them to be up high. Okay, and we're going to let that dry. And then we can come in with a really sharp pencil and we can do a couple little tricks. We can do, you could even be careful using a micron on top of your colored pencil because it will clog. This pencil just doesn't want to stay sharp. Okay, so you can draw these little C shapes. If you do little C shapes, it looks like the kind of like the edges of a sequin. I gotta wait for my white to dry just a little bit. I'm gonna wait. I'll be patient. Let me move on to the face. Okay. So for the face, I'm kind of thinking I want to do this girl's hairstyle because it's one of the fastest, easiest, and to me kind of a fun hairstyle to do. So let me go ahead and see if I can get her face roughed in. I don't recommend that you guys do this on your finished drawing. I'm going to go back to my earlier drawing and I'm going to see if I can turn what I already started into her. Obviously, I didn't have her in mind when I started this, but I'll see if I can just kind of do some sort of hybrid. So remember, for your kids' faces, you're going to want to keep those eyes just a little bit lower than halfway. And I'm going to give her some big bangs that are all radiating out from kind of up here. And then we'll give this, oh my God, she's so cute. We'll give her this kind of really smooth hairstyle that'll go kind of like that. Should be something like that. Okay, so maybe that'll be her hairstyle. Let me erase away what I don't need, like the edges of her head. Okay, and I'm not putting a lot of, if you want to practice drawing this in pencil right now, absolutely do it. Okay, absolutely do it. If I wanted to make a million videos today, I maybe would do that. But I don't know, guys. It's getting late in the day. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Let's see what we see for her little nose. I'm going to put basically just nostrils. I don't really see too much else. She's quite young, though, so when they're that young, their noses are kind of upturned. I'll keep the eyes the way I had them. I think I can make that work. And she's going to be looking a little bit more at us versus her looking away. And then we'll just do a sort of a general mouth. Oh, she's cute. I like her. Okay. Okay, something like that. Okay, so let's do that in color. Just to get me thinking about shadows. There's going to be a shadow under her bangs. We're going to shade around her cheeks. And even if your reference photo doesn't show a lot of shading, you're very likely going to spot a little bit of shadow in the corners of the eyes, under the tip of the nose, under the lower lip. The upper lip is usually shaded, kind of our usual suspects. If you see the neck is definitely going to be a lighter color than the chin. Otherwise, we kind of lose their chin. It sort of blends together, which we want to avoid. Okay, so something like that's going to get me started. Let me light box it onto my finished one, my final drawing. Oh, I can kind of see through. Let me just lightly trace it. And remember, guys, we want the smallest amount of pencil possible on your finished drawings. Okay, we'll go something like that. And I'm going to erase away her outline of her head because now that's covered by hair. Okay, so let's see what we can do for a face. I'm going to finish up these sequins real fast. Oh, you can see, maybe you can see on the camera how when I let it sit for a minute, the white turned pink. So if you wanted to come in and put another couple of dots just to get some even brighter whites, you can. I was trying to pop a little bit of shadow. I'm sorry, a little bit of white elements on there, but it's not really showing, but I can for sure get some. Oh, I'm pressing really hard. I want a really hard, sharp outline on some of these little guys. And I'm breaking my pencils. If you have a pencil that keeps breaking, one little trick that you can do is try baking it in a low oven, okay, like 200, 250 degrees. And that will sometimes, not sometimes, that will melt the wax back together, because sometimes what's happening if they break constantly, it's that inside they're actually kind of chipped. And you need to melt the wax back together. Okay, so I can put, and if you want to try putting those little like whoosh whoosh little star shapes, you can. It works better with a jelly roll pen, which I don't have one, unfortunately. Okay, but from a distance, guys, I'm kind of feeling it. That looks like it could be little sequins on a shirt. Okay, back to her face. Let's find a skin recipe. I need a marker. Usually I can do this with a marker and just 1 or 2 pencils. Let's see what I've got here. These markers are funny. Sometimes they are what the cap looks like, and sometimes they are not what the cap looks like. I kind of have to test them every time. That is a little too pink to go with her sweatshirt. I don't mind this one. It's just a little bit light. I'll be demoing more faces as we get into the women's project too. So, oh, I kind of like this one. This is, okay, we'll go with this guy. So this random, this is called Flesh Pink. And that gives me a first coat, a second coat, and then let me see if I've got some pencils that can go with it. Again, guys, you are unlikely to have the perfect pencil. Okay, so find what you've got. See what you can use that's going to give you a shadow color. I feel like this brown is maybe not great with that skin tone, but I don't know, maybe it's all I got. Oh, I found a slightly warmer one. I like this one. Okay, this is burnt ochre, which is kind of nice. And then I'm gonna want pink again for the cheeks, because that's just always fun. Let me get myself a nice pink. And then I'm gonna want a sharp, sharp, sharp dark brown or black for some details. And I think that'll be my skin, okay? So that's what I got. I will go ahead and do her face. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm drowning. You guys should see my office. I'm like drowning in papers. Hold on, where did it go? If you want to have your practice one nearby, you can. If you want to have your reference nearby, I highly recommend that. And I'm just going to come in here and see if I can do a face. Now, this is a lighter skin color, so any pencil that you have is going to really, really show. And what's even worse is it might smudge. We don't love smudgy gray drawing pencil underneath our marker, so don't put more pencil than you need. Okay. Work as quickly as you can to fill in the face, because the faster you go, the fewer streaks you're going to have. Now, I need to erase that ear. I don't see her ears, but I'm showing a little bit of ears. With that same marker, I'm going to go ahead and come in and get a second coat on her neck. I'm going to darken her ears, darken her ears. I can even go in and get a little bit of shadow right in the nooks where I know I'm going to shadow. Like, I know I'm going to get shadow in these spots because I already did it on my earlier test drawing. So I don't have to be afraid of coming in with my marker and getting a second coat of marker on here. Right under her bangs is really going to get shadowed. And I'm going to even take the skin color up a little bit in case I make her bangs a little choppy. I went right over her eyes because I just can't, I don't want to fuss with that right now. I'll bring them back when I do it with a white colored pencil. Okay, let me put in some, you know what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to outline things. Okay, so I've got my dark, dark brown. You could use black. And I'm going to see if I can capture her nostril. See if I can capture a little bit of her mouth. I always draw the opening of the mouth first, so I can kind of see what shape that's doing. I'll come in and I'll darken up her eyes. I'm going to zoom in on this so we can get a nice view. The only thing is whenever I zoom in like this, you guys, like, I can't see. I want you guys to see, but now I can't see because the phone is literally right between my eyeballs and the drawing. Let's see if I can go like that. Okay, that's a little better. And just capture a little bit, even though it's not that same face, but I'm kind of trying to capture a little bit of that same sort of vibe. Leave a little shine in the eyes. I always do that. If you lose it, don't stress. You can bring it back with a gel pen or something later on. Okay. All right. Once I have a bit of the eyes and things in, that's where I feel more confident coming in with my shadow color and now doing the shadows for real. Okay. So I'll just work my way around the face, see if I can blend in places. This little nook is going to help me define the nose right there. I'm going with a light touch and kind of a circular movement, and that's helping me to get it more blended. The upper lip, I'll just do it in this brown shadow color for now, and I'll get under the lower lip. I will pop in a little bit darker shadow under her chin. And you can also at this point kind of perfect your face shape if you feel like it needs a little bit of adjusting. Darken up right here, and see what else we can see. I really grabbed this for the hairstyle. It isn't the best face reference, but it'll work. Okay. Make her a little happier. Okay, she doesn't look that happy. She's like, come on, lady, draw me cuter. Okay, let me give her a little bit of pink cheeks, just because I can't resist. I have mixed feelings. I probably shouldn't do that because it does darken the cheeks, but at the same time, a lot of times kids do have that sort of pink cheek. Oh, she's cute. Okay, I don't know if we'd see a lot of eyebrow with this hairstyle, maybe a tiny bit. Okay, I'm very excited for the hair, so let me come in and do the hair with you guys. If the skin tone was any darker, I would come in with white and add a little bit of pop, but I just don't think it's going to show. I will probably, once I get her hair in, feel like I need to darken up some shadows a little bit more, but let's go ahead and do the hair. And what I'm going to do for the hair is make a recipe, and it's going to be black with white colored pencil. So you could do it with a dark gray, but I found it's maybe easier just to do it black. Okay, second coat of marker, and then let that dry, and we'll come in with a white for highlights. Okay, this is a fun hairstyle to draw in color as well. And what we're doing here, guys, this concept of capturing the shine, you can apply that to lots of different things. Like we could apply that to her hair pulled back right like this. These buns, I would even approach those the same way. Let me know if you guys, especially as we start working on women, if you have a particular hairstyle that you want to do. I like drawing hair. I think it's fun. I think the pressure's off. I think there's more pressure when you do faces. And I think I put a lot of pressure on myself trying to draw clothes, even though sometimes it doesn't always come out the way I hope it will. But with hair, I just feel like it's not nearly as much pressure because you can make pretty realistic looking hair. And it doesn't have to be exactly like a photo, as long as you follow a couple of ideas. So I'm filling in the black the same way the hair grows, okay? It's all coming from that spot right up there high on her forehead and pulling down, and then I'm just gonna fill in this entire hair shape. Okay. And you can do a little bit of scratchiness at the bottom to make it look a little choppy. And we can do a little scratchiness along the blunt end of her bangs too. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Okay. So like right here, I'm gonna just fill it in, fill it in, fill it in. And then if you wanna rough it up a little bit, you can do so. So it basically filled the whole thing in black. Notice I didn't go too close to her face because you don't want to mess that up. Take your time with that. Maybe switch to the fine tip of your marker and you can get a little closer. Okay, what I'm going to do now is switch to my white pencil. Now, I don't know if this is showing up on the video, but I'm darkening up the roots and I'm pulling up from the tips as well, just a little bit. Okay, here's my white pencil. Keep it nice and sharp. And I'm going to brighten up her eyes. Brighten up her eyes, brighten up her eye, brighten up her eye. And now for the hair. So if we look back at that reference photo, can you guys see this really pretty shine? That shine is made out of, basically I'm going to treat it like pencil strokes. And I'm going to try to go in the direction that the hair would be brushed, leaving it darker right there at the root part and leaving it darker right at the tips of her bangs. And I'm trying to be careful not to let my pencil lines overlap each other. I want to just let them be running parallel to each other. And I really darkened up or brightened up that one spot. She's got this kind of part coming down the front, so maybe that gets a little bit of highlight, maybe a little highlight here. And what I'm going to do now is get a black colored pencil because that's frequently darker than the marker. And I'm going to come, I don't know if this was even going to show up, but I'm going to see if I can get this drawing from the center out, from the center out. And I'll let that run out into my white pencil lines. Okay, so that should give you kind of a fun hairstyle. You can also, with your sharp pencil, if you want to do a little something on the bangs to darken that up or perfect your outline, you can. Okay, all right. Am I done with her? I don't know, guys. I never feel like I'm done. I feel like I want to come in now that the hair is there. I feel like she can handle a little bit darker shadows. So I'll come in and just get a little bit more shading. I think her neck needs to be a little thicker. And you can also, with your black colored pencil, if you want to clean up any edges of the hair that were hard to draw with the marker, you can do that too. Oh, I feel like I'm going to darken her eyes maybe a tiny bit more. Yes, she needed that. And this is with a black now. I'm kind of going over it. I literally don't think I'm ever done with these little drawings. It's funny, sometimes I'll pull them out a semester later and I'll keep adding to it. Okay, but that is just face and hair, one example. There's so many more we can do. And then sweater and jeans, and I want to do a plaid skirt, and that might be it for today because I don't think I got any other requests. I'll have to look back and see. Okay,